What did I say? It was like right on cue. I love it when the stuff I said, it all turns out to, see, it's true. Trust me, I'm a lawyer. It's true.
Well, I know we're behind the times, but we just got voice activated cable. And so now it's very scary because you just say what you want to watch and things come on the TV.
Oh,
yeah. So now instead of having to fight over the remote, you can just keep talking over each other.
Right, because someone can say Monday Night Football and somebody can say My Fair Lady, and it can just go on forever.
Right.
That's fantastic. That's like, that ups the thermostat wars, like
who's cold and who's hot. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know, Lisa or Henrietta, do you guys want to get our meeting started?
Sure. We'll go ahead and start and welcome Dr. Jordan, who has just joined us. And there are, let's see, we've got, I'll go ahead and start the introductions. Oh, I'm Henrietta Speedy, former CFO for Engineering Services. And I'm going to go across my screen. If I miss you, please raise your hand, because sometimes if I look down, look back up, my screen plays tricks on me and I might miss somebody. So I'm going to start to my, well, you know what? Why don't I start with our co-president, Lisa Farrar.
Thanks, Henrietta. I'm Lisa Farrar. I'm a retired mortgage banker and former fitness studio owner, and I'm co-president of SIP this year with Henrietta Speedy.
And Shelley Cutts.
Oh, hello. I'm Shelley Cutts. I'm Vice President of Soroptimist International of Phoenix this year and the Program Committee Chair. I am Unit Chief Counsel for the Environmental Enforcement Section of the Attorney General's Office.
Thank you. Darlene Miller. Oh, Darlene, you're on mute.
I didn't want you to hear me chew or anything while I'm eating my lunch. I'm Darlene Miller, and I'm a past president of Soroptimist International and still a retired fundraiser, I'm glad to say.
Thank you. Margie Burke.
Great. My name is Margie Burke, and I'm the Chief Financial and Operating Officer for the Desert Botanical Garden. And I am also the Golden West Region Governor-elect. So glad to be here.
Thank you, Margie. Terry Parker.
Terry Parker, retired City of Phoenix Contracts Administrator.
And thank you, Lee Wales.
Hi, Lee Wales, former Director of Enterprise Systems at Bull Information Systems and Development Officer with Valley of the Sun United Way. Nice to see everybody.
Nice to see you too, Lee. Roxanne Creaser.
Hi, I am a former or retired educator.
Thank you, Rocky. Tammy Zeller.
Yes, I'm Tammy Zeller, and I work at State Farm Insurance, and I'm an underwriting manager leading training teams for underwriting across the country.
Thank you, Tammy. Mary Greer.
Hi, I'm Greer. I'm a retired former president. Most of the people on this call are former presidents.
Thank you, Mary. And welcome to our two guests, Candice Lizou and Dr. Jordan. And I'm going to turn it over then to Shelley Cutts to get our program started.
Great. I just want to thank Candice and Dr. Jordan for joining us today and agreeing to talk about the work that they do. So I don't have and share with us hopefully a little bit about themselves and what brought them to the positions they hold now. And so I don't know who to start with first, but I guess Dr. Jordan, you were first on my email announcement reminder. So we'll start with you if you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and let us know about your work at Girls Leadership Academy of Arizona. Oh, and you're on mute, of course.
I don't know why we do that. We know we're trying to talk, but I apologize for that. Is there a way I can share the screen? I
Sure,
thought
I
I
think
probably
there's a
did. I
share
probably,
button
hold on, let me see. Let me get my
at the
glasses.
bottom of the
Yep, I see
Zoom,
it.
there's a bar. So I think you can just click the share screen bar.
Yep. And we got share. And I don't know, can you see it? Let's see here.
We can, at least I can see
Okay.
your screen.
All right, I'm gonna move you guys. I probably did a little bit too much, but I didn't know how much to prepare for. So I was gonna go through my slides if that's okay.
That's great. And hopefully we'll have a little bit of time at the end for questions.
Okay, sounds good. So I, as many of you all know, I am the principal of Girls Leadership Academy, and I'm gonna walk through my slides, take good notes, and I will be more than happy to answer questions, at the end. Or we can share during, however you wish to have this flow. We have about 78 girls, less than 80 girls. Again, we're in a very transient community, so that number kind of fluctuates every now and then. And just a breakdown of it, 79% of our girls are Hispanic, 8% are African American, 5% Caucasian, 4% Native American, 2 or more with mixed ethnicities, and 1% Asian. And we serve over 17 zip codes. So we have students coming from all over, not just in our immediate area, which is located at 7th Avenue in Camelback. We have students that ride the metro, parents, or they drive, or they walk. So covering pretty much a lot of area in Arizona, I'll say that. We're always marketing, and we always want to increase our enrollment. And sometimes it's a challenge, especially right now, because remote learning is out there, and with COVID happening, a lot of schools are seeing numbers drop because students are now wanting to receive their education, from home. So we're continuously marketing with other schools, mainly middle schools, to increase our freshmen, 9th grade. These are 9th grade enrollment events. We are at middle schools in these particular pictures here. One of the themes that we really push at our school is we're always saying champion, be a champion of your situation. We have a lot of adversity going on in our families and our students and their lives. And so we try to enforce, you need to champion that. And there's a song out there, if you get a chance, by Carrie Underwood, and it features Ludacris. So, we have to have a little mixture with this age group. And it's really, really good. It's uplifting, and it talks about how C is for courage in the song, how H is, how do you get through the hurt and have a good attitude? How do you stay motivated? How are you going to persevere? Just in everything that you do, it talks about integrity, optimistic, and to never give up. So when you get a chance, I hope that you all will listen to this song at some point. We really try to push attendance, and I'm really, really excited about the Soroptimist and how, this organization is faithful to Tuesdays. And believe it or not, that helps our students come to school, at least on Tuesdays anyway, because they know that, our seniors know they're going to have this opportunity to, meet with the group and have keynote speakers. And I mean, you all provide so much that I think it's going to be really beneficial to the students and, long term. So other things that we do as far as attendance, we try to, have fun Fridays. We give out gift baskets as far as treats, certificates, just whatever it takes. McDonald's, as you can see here, Dutch Bros is pretty popular, gift cards, whatever we can do to keep our students in school. This slide is just some things that go on throughout the year. We try to have ongoing field trips to colleges. I mean, as far as GCU, NAU, wherever we can take our students to the community colleges, we have to really bring exposure to our girls. A lot of our girls can't, they're not able to go on their own or with their parents for various reasons. So as a school, we try to push that and just again, bring exposure. We do have sports. We just finished volleyball season and now we are moving into basketball. And then we'll have soccer in the spring. And we're really hoping to have softball. We're not sure. We wrote a grant to try to get some equipment for our softball, but we're going to keep our fingers crossed to see if we can get that. This is just to kind of give you some academic background with our students when it comes to our reading. Our scores are very, very low at this time. We're hoping to see this increase. We need to show some growth. So our teachers are dedicated and they spend, I mean, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Trying to figure out how we can meet the needs of our students academically. So please know that this is something that we don't take lightly. We are continuously trying to plan and whatever it takes to get our students to enjoy reading. We also try to make sure that the social and emotional side of our girls are strong. And, you know, again, like, as I said earlier, every girl is experiencing their own adversity in their life. So we try to stay upbeat. We try to take them to these events, you know, just to keep their spirits up. So we, I'm not trying to sound, well, so some of this is out of our own pocket. So for example, I took those 6 or 7 girls to the NFL game, the football game in the Cardinals. They had good attendance. They showed up and I was just happy with that. So those are some seniors there. And then if we get free tickets, we take the students where we can. And again, teachers giving up their evenings and their time to do just that. This is one of my favorite slides. This, we have this group of girls who have a 3.9 GPA or higher, and that speaks volumes. Obviously, these students are not in that low reading group. They're the students that are bringing their A game when it comes to learning. So we like to brag on that opportunity when we can. This next student, she's actually our highest academic student on our campus. She is a senior, and as the pictures show, she knows she wants to go to Grand Canyon. She knows she wants to be in computer engineering, and she's very, very focused. So at some point, I would definitely like for you all to meet this one individual, because I think we'll see her down the road in many, many things, politically, probably too. Very, very self-driven. And this slide, again, I just wanted you to kind of see what's going on in the classroom when it comes to science and just the STEM group. And we're writing grants to keep this going, to try to bring dollars into our school. We are lower in numbers this year, and enrollment, as you know, drives our budget. So we're constantly trying to figure out how to bring dollars into our school to be able to support the learning experience, the materials, the equipment, things necessary for the students to show growth in their academics. And of course, this is, you know, one of my favorite slides, of course. This is your group, and we just love seeing the ladies come. And this is the students making their collages on just their future, their dreams, you know, that vision board, right? We all should be doing that, even us. I think we should still be doing that. And just the way, I mean, I can speak to Paula because I see her probably the most, you know, the guest speakers that come, it really does make a difference. And I really hope that you all know that coming in and going out, that even if you reach one that day, it makes a difference to our life here at GLASS, Girls Leadership Academy Arizona. We say that for short, GLASS. So continue to empower them and educate them. And I know they'll go far with your support, continued support. Another partnership that we were able to do this year was with Team Smiles. It was a dental program with the Coyotes. And this is very rare. So I wanted to just let you know that this was an opportunity for our girls to get free dental education and an opportunity for them to get a dental cleaning or just get the work done, or that dental program. How do they do that? I don't know the exact verbiage of it, but it was an opportunity for them to take tests, diagnose their teeth, and if they need assistance to get a filling or they had a cavity, they would be able to hopefully do that next year. And that concludes my slideshow. And I am open for questions.
Great. I think before we move to questions, I want to make sure that Candice has time to make her presentation, and then
Yes,
then perhaps we can have questions directed at our speakers, if that works.
Sounds like a plan.
Great. And I don't know if you want to unshare your screen. There you go. And then Candice can show. Oh, I turned my video off. I think Candice can show the screen if she wants to. Great. Thank you.
Can you see it?
We can. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the presentation, Dr. Jordan. It was really interesting, and we serve some similar communities. So that's very nice. So it's such a delight to be here for the second time presenting to your group. I'm so happy to be here. So, you know, I wanted for this to be really an update, right, on how we've been. I think it's about 1.5 years ago that I spoke to you, and at that time I was still just serving, my organization was still just serving young adults, basically, you know, in the streets, and a lot of things have changed, right, since then. So I'm really looking forward to giving you this update. Just to hold myself accountable, do I have, what, 10 minutes for the presentation? What's the time?
I would say you have up to 15 minutes at least.
15,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good, thank you. So, you know, we are really, you know, in the course of the past couple years, we really refined our mission, and what we want to do with this program, Foster 360, is to really change a system and stop the cycle that our youth are experiencing, and specifically the cycle of homelessness and adversity and poverty. So that has become the core mission of our program, and we want to do it in a way that provides them with a safe space as they are transforming into these new paradigms. And you will see in a little bit what we have been able to accomplish in the past couple years. I think you're going to be amazed, and some of you already saw it. We also identified our core values, and I will tell you that for me, as the founder of this program, the sustainability value is the most important. 49% of the homeless, chronically homeless population reports having been in the foster care system. And what if I could change that statistic by even 0.5%, I would really be happy, you know, to do that. And so for me, you know, our program serves young adults that, you know, aged out of the foster care system between the ages of 18 and 24. They all have two very big denominators in common. They are either homeless or housing insecure. So a lot of our youth were living in their cars or were couch surfing. But the second thing is they all experience severe trauma. Okay, so for me, what the value of sustainability means is that once they graduate from our program, which is 2 years long, that they never, ever, ever have to go back to a program, that they're really at the point in their lives where they can live a life without having to go getting food stamps, without having to go beg people to sleep on their couches. And if that doesn't happen, I failed. And so that is really the most important value for me as I, am working through this program and seeing how our model is really working. So the big update and the big news is that we are now into housing. So we have 7 apartment units in downtown Phoenix, and 5 of those units are used to house young adults. We have a capacity for 10 young adults. And while they're there, so they can stay with us for up to 2 years, we are teaching them everything around life skills, psychoeducation. We really teach them a lot about trauma so that they understand, what is going on in their bodies. We help them finding employment, keeping employment, which is the biggest key. We help them with education, connect them to all the resources available. We do, we work a lot on their trauma. That is our obsession, is understanding trauma and really meeting our residents where they are when it comes to trauma. So far, we have seen amazing miracles happen, and that's what I want to spend the next 10 minutes on. Is I want to tell you what is happening with our residents. Right now, we have 8 residents. We have capacity for 2 more. What you need to know is that it's not as easy as picking a kid up out of the streets and putting them in a unit. Some of the young adults that come to our program, they're on heavy drugs. So I saw that there was a chat. Oh, okay, sorry. Is someone monitoring the chat if there's a question? I don't need to do that.
You don't need to do that.
Perfect.
That's fine.
Okay, good. I'm so used to being in charge. I just wanted to make sure.
It's okay. No, you're a guest. You're a guest.
No, I know. It's my habits. That's how my brain works. So we really need to make sure that we have the right young adults in our program so that they don't disrupt the community as a whole, right? So we have here some young ladies that, one of them, Mariah, she got hired as a receptionist at a very high-end salon in Scottsdale, and she just got promoted. She's now the front desk manager. Megan, she started an esthetician program as she was in our program, and she graduated. She's now a licensed esthetician. So, those were milestones that we reached, that we really, really worked very hard for, because we had to deal with their traumas and them wanting to give up and them letting their anxieties and their traumas overcome them, right? And so we've only been open as a housing program since 8 months, and in 8 months we already have this kind of outcomes, which I think is really nothing short of miraculous. We have, Camille, Heavenly, those are all very, very hard workers. We actually have to ask them to work a little less because, they tend to work themselves almost to death. And we have Meisha, who is studying for her high school diploma, and she actually works at the place where she's getting her high school diploma. And then the next 3 are new residents that just came in, and as you can tell, I don't have pictures for all of them. Now look at these faces, look at them. Don't they look like any kid that you see somewhere at a mall, right? One of them used to live in a storage unit. Another one went from group home to group home. She actually sometimes had to sleep in her caseworker's office because they couldn't find a family for them. One of them was drugged from a very young age by her own mother to be prostituted. so she could get her drugs. One of them, two of them lived in their cars. A lot of them were sex trafficked. This is happening in your own backyard, ladies. And we, as a staff, are exposed to this day in and day out, every single day. And when they open up about their stories, I will tell you that there is not one horror movie. I'm not into horror movies, but there isn't a horror movie that matches what we have to hear. Yet society wants them to perform like any other young adult, right? Because they look normal. They look like anyone else. But they carry a big, heavy cross. So what we do with our program is we're giving them a safe place to rebuild themselves, and most specifically, the neural pathways in their brains. Because that's the only way we can change that statistic. Okay? 900 young adults age out of Arizona, of the foster care system in Arizona every year. Half of them end up homeless. That's 450 youth that are homeless. Try it sometimes. Go with your husband, drive to a Chick-fil-A or no, what's the name? Taco Bell, you know, those fast food places that are open late in kind of areas that are not like the best. And look at all the kids that are there. They're homeless. They're our kids. They're the kids we serve. And the majority of them, you can bet, were in the foster care system. They come at a very damaged state. The reason why I fundraise is because I need to be sure that I can offer them a 2-month rest period. I don't want them to work. They're not capable of it. They're going to go to work. They're not going to keep their jobs. It's just not going to happen because their triggers are still so high. So what we do for the first 2 months, we work on their trauma. We're not therapists, but we help them. We are all certified in trauma. We help them find modalities and strategies that work for them to self-regulate. And once they are capable of doing that, what they report to us is, I had this and this situation come up. Before I would have been violent. Now I didn't do this. And so as they create successful moments, their self-confidence grows. And we are teaching them about trauma because here's what one of the young ladies said to me. When I explained to her what happens in her body when she has a trigger, I said, what are you learning? What did you just learn about yourself? She said, I just learned that there is nothing wrong with me. Because people label them based on societal concepts that we all live by, but they don't live by the same because what you take for granted about what you taught your children, they weren't taught not even a fraction of that, but yet they still have to perform. So we are coaches, parents, I mean, you name it, we're everything for them. They love it. We did a general anxiety assessment at the beginning of the program. They all reported that they were severely anxious. After 8 months, they're all at a moderate level. All of them, because that's what we work on. We're not there to say, go to school, find a job, you know, we're there to say, calm down first. And then we'll talk about school and job and any other goal you have, you know? So I want to tell you this story because people don't realize what's behind these faces, you know, and they don't realize the kind of work that service providers do. And it's legitimate. How could you know, right? So that my passion is to educate people on the difficulty of the type of work we do so that they understand that there are organizations that are really doing amazing work out there and that need the community support and help. So I wanted to quickly wrap this up by telling you a couple of ways you can help our organization. First of all, we are an organization that qualifies for the foster care tax credit. It's $1,000 for couples and $500 for single filers. It's a dollar for dollar tax credit. I can send you these slides, okay? And so you have all the information you need. It doesn't cost you a dime to help. I make my own donation every year. And it's such a great way to support organizations. And if you already donate for someone's school or a food bank, just know that they're stackable. So because you donate to other tax credits, doesn't mean you can't donate to the foster care tax credit, okay? But there are other ways you can help, okay? Come visit our campus and see for yourself the kind of work that we do. And invite others, promote the tax credit. Only 1% of Arizonans use the tax credit, which is crazy because it's free money. Instead, if you owe $5,000, all you do is you say, hey, you know what? Instead of giving $5,000 to the IRS, I'm going to give $1,000 to Foster 360. You're just redirecting what you owe, okay? And then if you have former employers, I see some of you worked for really, really large firms. If you still have contacts there, if I could have an opportunity to go speak there, that would mean the world to me. You know, tell our story, give us a chance to tell our story and tell people about the opportunities that they have to help as a community would be lovely. But you can also organize donation drives. We always need cleaning products, paper towels, canned foods. We have them buy their own food after the first months that they're with us, okay? However, we try to help them with their budget because they're not making much money at this point, right? So those are just additional little helps that we do. And then you can come volunteer if you wanted to cook a meal. I know, I mean, some of you have given us already some cleaning products, and you gave us our first mops and buckets, and the kids still use them. So, you know, cook a meal. We have a big courtyard and we always need help to maintain it. Educational workshops. You seem to all be very seasoned professionals. And if there is a skill that you would like to participate in teaching our youth, we would love to, you know, to have you come in. We have a volunteer program. So I think I'm right at my 15-minute mark. The last thing, especially for those of you who have contacts with larger firms, each unit is being sponsored to, you know, to allow us to provide all these services and not having to make them pay rent right away. So one unit, we ask for $10,000 to cover a year for 2 youth, or $5,000 to cover a year for 1 youth. Those are all really, really great ways to support us. And I know that organizations love to do that. And so that is also a great way to promote our program, okay? And then at the end, I just added my contact information. So I will be sending you the slides so that you have everything. And that was it. Whew. I feel like I spoke really fast. But I could talk for the next 5 hours, and I like to be very respectful, so.
Thank you so much, Candice, and thank you so much, Dr. Jordan. I really appreciate both of you being here today, and I personally really greatly appreciate the services you provide. They're so important. My uncle, who's only 7 years older than me, grew up in an environment of tremendous trauma and abuse, and he killed himself on Saturday.
Oh.
And I think if he had the kind of help in services when he was younger, we might still have him. So thank you. And I just want to turn it over to the rest of the group for questions they may have.
Candice, I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Lee.
Okay.
I lost myself. Sorry about that. When you and I conversed via email last, you mentioned that you were working on a second residential facility. Can you share with us what's happening with that, if that's moving
Yes,
forward, or?
so I don't promote it a whole lot because it's still in the works, but the city of Mesa the mayor of Mesa came with his entourage in April, and what I thought was going to be a 5-minute quick visit ended up being an hour and a half visit, and you could see the wheel spinning because they saw what we were creating. So they have 7 units, 2-bedroom units in Mesa that they are considering giving us. We went through the first round of approval, and it was successful, and apparently it's the most important round of approval, but it's not a done deal yet. But hopefully next year, and it would basically increase our capacity. It would double our capacity, you know.
That's fantastic. Thanks.
Thank you. Lee.
Dr. Jordan?
Yes,
I
I'm
have
here.
a question about the young ladies who are struggling with reading, and this, gosh, that's so important, and we know it is. And I'm curious, what kind of programs are you having to help them better those abilities, and if there are other things that other people can do to help as well.
Okay, great question. A lot of it is honestly them wanting to become better readers and coming to school so that we can give them the tools that we do have in existence. We have a lot of tools, such as a program called Achieve 3000 and the reading inventory. These are, it's almost, they call them articles, we call them books, but today in this program, they're calling them articles. So it reads at their own pace. So we have the assessment tools, we have the I guess the mechanism to give them, but they've got to open up and share with us, what kind of books do you even like? We're trying to really pull them to talk more, communicate more, open up to us so we can be able to answer the question that you're asking me. What else can we give them that would help them? We're still trying to find that as well. I know that seems it seems like a very easy, simple question, but it's not. I don't want people to go out and buy something and then it just sits on our shelf, because we have books in our little mini libraries. We have classroom libraries. I'll say that. We don't have a library. We have teachers have books in their classroom, but it's really trying to understand what's your interest. And I'm open for even your suggestions at this point, because when high school girls, sometimes it's very challenging just to get them to talk. So.
This is Shelley. I just did the little hand raise because on the reading, I did notice your classroom library when I came and spoke, and you guys had a really, really wide, like really nice selection of books. And I also shared on the whiteboard some of my favorite books from high school, in case any of the students wanted to check those out. But I don't know if students would be interested in having like some sort of like book club, maybe that involve young adult fiction or other things that might be interesting, like, or even, Harry Potter books, stuff that's just fun to read and interesting, but that, it can be made like a club or something fun where they can get together with their chicken McNuggets and their fries and talk about the book and what they liked and what they didn't like. I don't know if that's something that they'd be interested in, but like it's Soroptimist, some of the Soroptimists have a book club. I mean, they do the same thing, but it just involves probably wine, but this might be something that might be, might make it fun and interactive.
All for it. And it's just a matter of putting something together like that and finding the people that will be committed to help support and come in and really start the book club. Because my teachers are overworked at this point, and we already have what we call advisory clubs during lunch period. Maybe we can somehow insert a book club into that. So your suggestion is well received, and maybe I can brainstorm with the teachers on how to make that happen. Thank you, Shelley.
Oh, Darlene and then Terry.
I just want to say to both of our speakers that I've been a Soroptimist for a while now. And last year, having the chance to work with both of your groups and continuing into this year has been one of the most rewarding experiences that I've had as a Soroptimist. And I want to commend you on your dedication and your cooperation with us as we try to channel our energies and our funding when possible into what are clearly really worthwhile endeavors you're doing. So I just wanted to say thanks to both of you. And those of us who get to go play Dream Board Maker and now I think we're going to have a Friendsgiving at Foster 360 are just very excited, and it's made being a Soroptimist even better for me. So thank you.
Thank you for that. You know, I just thought of something, Shelley, and I don't know if anybody has a contact, but let me just maybe throw this plug in. You know, maybe if we can, if you know any authors, any book authors, maybe someone come to our school and speak to the girls. Maybe that would inspire them.
I can reach out. One of the young adult fiction authors that I saw in your classroom library, his name's Bill Koenigsberg. He writes a lot of young adult fiction, and his books were in there. Anyway, he lives in Phoenix. His husband is a friend of mine and a water law attorney in town, so he's local.
Wow.
So I can try to reach out and see if he might want to reach out and talk to the girls. You know, since his books are in your classroom libraries right now. So I'll just make a note of that to reach out, and if anything comes of it, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
And Terry, I think Terry Parker, you're up.
Yes. Shelley mentioned our book club. And so I was going to extend an invitation for the girls from either one of your groups to attend our book club. We do them virtually right now. And this month we're discussing a novel called The Last Flight. And if I don't know if anybody else has finished reading it yet, but it could be an interesting, and they don't have to discuss it. Don't tell them they have to be able to talk about it. But I think if they listen to us talk about a book we'd read and how we enjoyed it or we didn't, sometimes we don't enjoy it, and comment about that. It's the third, I don't know the date, kids. What is it? It's the third Tuesday at 4:30 in the afternoon. So I don't know if they would be able to join us on Zoom or not, but we'd certainly be happy to have them there.
Rocky.
It sounds great. I'm just writing notes, so thank you. Thank you.
I have a question for Candice. Candice, do you take donations of like clothing, furniture, anything for the apartments, or do you have a list or things like that?
So we are putting together an Amazon wish list with some smaller items. But if the Mesa campus gets approved, I will need furniture. So I will reach out at that time. But right now our units are, fully furnished. And when it comes to clothing, we will start taking clothing donations once we have the Mesa campus. I mean, for those of you who came to our campus, I think Lisa, you came, the space is so small. We're already outgrowing it. Our office is so small. Unfortunately, I have zero storage space even for clothing. But anything else, if you go to the store and you buy an extra pack of toilet paper and bring it over, shampoos, think about anything. One of the things that we're really missing a lot is hair products for ethnic hair. Our residents struggle with finding the right products, and so we put a call for action with the community. Another thing, simple things that we collect and that are super helpful for us. So the first 2 months, we help them with gift cards, like Fry's gift cards in $25 increments, to help them buy groceries. Because again, we ask them to not, work for the first couple of months. So those are all easy ways, you know, simple ways that you can help our residents.
Candice,
Thank you.
it's funny that you mentioned hair products because that was the first thing that came to my mind before you even said hair products, because I have a hair situation that I deal with on a daily basis. It's like it's a situation, and so I spend a fortune and like special products for my curly hair to like get it, you know, to keep it, you know, like it's a situation anyway.
Yes.
So so I happen to use this leave-in conditioner called Mixed Chicks that is mostly for like mixed race and ethnic hair. So the next time I get one on Amazon, I'll grab an extra one and bring
Thank
it
you.
by. Yeah.
Yes,
it's
yes. I
great.
mean, and I, as you said, those are more expensive products,
Yeah.
you know, and people, when, you know, they donate the grocery store hair products that work really well. I mean, they don't work on my hair either, you know.
Mm-mm.
So, so yeah, those are things we don't think about. I didn't think about it until they brought it to my attention.
Oh no, I think about it daily. So
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I can help on that one.
Thank you.
Oh, Henrietta.
Hi there. Candice Leozu, I have a question about, I cannot imagine how you begin to talk to them about their trauma. And I realize you can't go into too much detail, but what's the first step that you take? You said you first tell them you don't have to start a job right away. You don't have to go to school this semester right away. We're going to deal with the trauma. Then where do you start? And how much training have you and the staff had?
Oh my gosh, training. I have been working with the Arizona Trauma Institute for the past 3.5 years. And as a matter of fact, I'm part of their faculty now because I just stick around and I'm like, I need to learn everything. And then we have a book club for my staff. Every week we meet, we read books about trauma. So we are very trauma informed, because when you don't understand trauma, when you work with vulnerable populations and you don't take the time to study and understand trauma, you do more harm than good. You harm them. The first thing we do is we reconnect them with their bodies. So dissociation is one of the most common things. They numb themselves. Connie was talking about these young ladies not talking, you know, they're completely dissociated. So we do a lot of what we call somatic work, which is body-based work. And when we say we work on their trauma, never do we need to hear their stories. The only times you hear their stories is because they volunteer it. They open up. We don't need to know. I don't need to know what happened to you. All I need to know is that you were traumatized, because you're gonna display the same symptoms. Okay. And so we do a lot of meditation. We do a lot of breath work. We do a lot of connection to, you know, the ground, a lot of grounding work. Those are our very, very first steps. And then we get into the education part, which is, okay, now that you can, you know, calm down a little bit, let us explain to you what happens in your body when you get triggered. It's a very, very complex work. And it's a work of patience, because you need to do it constantly until it becomes a second habit for them.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
If I can jump in, Candice, and I'm looking forward to emailing you as soon as this ends. So thank you, Soroptimist, for bringing this together and bringing this exposure of Candice and her work. So today, just today, a student was just crying. She's a freshman, and you know, I'm trying to get her to talk, open up, and you know, she was telling me that, you know, I don't even think they realize that they're going through some trauma. You know, and we lack a guidance counselor at our school, which is, you know, it's very hard to not have that person to help me talk to students when they're experiencing what they're experiencing. But anyhow, she couldn't stop crying, and come to find out her dad was murdered.
Oh.
And you know, in a gang, and the whole thing. And she can't get out of her head. And I don't think she's getting any help at home. She has a brother, she has an older sister who's autistic, and just the whole home life is so much happening. And Then her grandmother, then she lost her grandmother that same year. So I think it's just a lot of, I hear you, and I'm just trying to figure out how to connect and how to, I don't know. It's a lot.
I know, and I mean it humbly. I mean it very humbly, but I know a lot about this topic. And I can tell you that making them talk is the last thing you want to do.
That's it's, but I can't help them, and they keep it all inside.
Yeah.
So I say to everyone, so I won't take up too much time. We have numerous girls in our school like this, and so just trying to tap into their interest, just tapping into them it takes effort, and that's why I can't say it enough. Just your visit, your presence, just we had I forgot her name. I should remember her name. She brought just the Halloween treats, just whatever. It doesn't even, it can be something that you think is small, but it's big to them. So
yeah, so let's connect. Let's connect because so I participated, and I say to the audience because I think that would be interesting for you. All the trauma training to date has been geared towards clinicians. So people like us, we have to sit in a clinician trauma training, and we don't understand half of the jargon they use. Well, Dr. Roten from the Arizona Trauma Institute called me because I've been complaining about that forever, and I'm a certified executive coach. And he asked me if I could be a part of his faculty to create a brand new program to become a certified life coach for trauma and resiliency.
That's what we need.
And it's launching in January. And Connie, I would love to invite you because here's the thing. Just having a counselor that knows, it's not enough. You need to know because you need to be able to handle these one-off situations that come up, right? And so it's geared towards non-clinicians. I'm super psyched about it. Give me a call, and I would love to talk to you about that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll put my information in the chat.
Yeah.
Wow, well, this has been an unexpectedly lovely meeting of making these sort of connections. Because Connie, being at your school, there were a lot of situations that I know your girls are dealing with that you know, that I related to. So anything that, you know, we can do to help, we certainly want to. We have a few minutes left. I don't know if anyone else had questions or comments. I'm kind of blown away right now. I'm a little bit there's a lot going on. All right. Well,
you know what,
go ahead.
Shelley, I just want to, you know, close out with saying thank you, and thank you. And Tuesdays are my best days here. You know, I may not be able to be in the classroom every Tuesday morning, but I know just opening up our day with your organization has just, it made a difference. It makes a difference. And I just want everyone to know that. And if you haven't had a chance to come to our school, please come down. You don't need an invitation. You have a verbal invitation. The doors are open. And I would just love for you to come meet our girls. And the same with you, Candice. Love for you to come down.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Connie, is your school going to be in session on Friday, November 12th, the day after Veterans Day?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. I'm going to turn it back over to Lisa and/or Henrietta, our co-presidents, to close out our meeting.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Thanks, Henrietta. I just really want to echo, I think Darlene summarized it the best. I'm overcome with emotion listening to the two of you women and what you're doing. I'm so grateful to be a part of it and what little bit we can do to help, but it's just, you're both just, and your organizations are just amazing. And I know you're both very important to our organization. We're so happy to be involved and engaged with you. So it's a great three-way partnership. So it's hard to get so emotional. Whew. Anyway, thank you both for your time today, and thanks for the updates and the information. And we look forward to seeing you all very soon and hopefully continuing to help your organizations. And thanks to everybody else for being here today. Anybody have any other comments or anything before we close out?
Nope, thanks
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Not too
Thank
many
you.
program meetings where I need a napkin at the end of the meeting.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it.